Kentucky Lake. I think we're in, I'm not sure if it's Benton, Kentucky, or where exactly we are, but Kentucky Lake. World-renowned fishery. A lot of big events held here. A lot of Elite Series tournaments, a lot of FLW tournaments. Since we've transitioned to Major League Fishing, I don't think we've been here, but I've been here 2 other times, so I have some experience here, and I actually have some good tournaments, some good days of fishing here. This is probably one of the biggest lakes that I've ever fished. I want to say it's over 100,000 acres. It's a part of the Tennessee River, so it's very long, but it flows weird. The north end seems like the south end, and the south end seems like the north end, but the river flows like backwards, so it's very confusing to tell somebody if you're going up or down. And there's 2 lakes. You can fish Kentucky Lake this week, and you can also fish Barkley Lake. I think, as far as I can tell, this is actually my second practice day, we're gonna go to Barkley Lake today, because I fished Kentucky Lake on the upper section yesterday and I didn't catch anything. The day of fishing was so strenuous, so uneventful, that I couldn't even make a video out of it. I mean, I guess I could, because I mean, it could be today. You're gonna get it. If it's uneventful, you're gonna get it today, because I probably should have filmed yesterday and how uneventful, because I need to make it real. A lot of times I only show when I catch fish. No, bro, show me them 10 hours of you not catching nothing. So if you might be in for that today. Just pulled up to the ramp. Look, I gotta tell y'all this story. Listen to this story. So I'm gonna set the scene a little bit. I am in Kentucky, okay? This is Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? Do what you want to with that. Now, I know I got viewers from Kentucky. I'm just saying, this is what it is. You can say the same thing from where I live, South Carolina. Yes? Hey, do what you want to with that comment, but I gotta draw the picture here so you understand the context and where I'm coming from with this story. I pull up to the gas station yesterday. Get ready. Gas station to get your snacks, ice, water, pump gas, etc. And listen, before I tell you, I get it. My rig, what I'm driving, it makes you ask questions. You can't help but see it. I got a Sprinter van, just 10 foot tall with logos over it, pulling the bass boat. You're gonna ask questions when you see it, so that's fair. Pull up to the gas station. A guy walks out at the gas station and he just looks at me. I didn't think nothing about it. People do that all the time. They just look at me. I mean, they just look at me. They look at me. They look at me, right? So I could feel the guy looking at me. I didn't think nothing about it. I started pumping my gas. You know, you can just feel, like, you literally can feel the pressure of them beaming, looking at you on your back. So I'm just sitting there pumping my gas, and I turn around. I had to turn around to get my receipt out of the gas pump machine, right? And I turn around. Now it's not just one guy, it's 4 guys standing there looking at me. All 4 of them, I feel like all 4, at least 3 of them, at least 50% of these guys are sitting there, they're holding their coffee, smoking cigarettes. Smoking a cigarette and a coffee at the same time. That's wild to me. Whatever. I look over, I say, hey, how are y'all doing? Nobody says a word. Nobody says a word. I was like, oh boy. I was like, oh boy. And so the guy starts walking towards me. I was like, oh shoot, don't walk towards me. The guy starts walking towards me. And so I'm like, okay, you know, here we go, let me entertain this. So the guy starts walking toward me. He goes, so what's the big story? It wasn't quite that forceful, but that's what it felt like to me. Right? Like, that's what it felt like to me. He goes, so what's the big story? I'm like, storytellers. So I was like, let me go ahead and entertain this. The Storytellers is the name of the, you know, the company that builds this fan. It's just like how you have Ford, you have Storyteller. He didn't say nothing. He just kept walking around looking at the truck. And then he goes, so what are you here for? Well, that's an odd question, as I'm pumping gas in my bass boat with fishing rods laying all over the deck. I mean, Kentucky Lake. So for context, Kentucky Lake is a world-renowned tournament bass fishing organization. Major League Fishing headquarters is here. It's been here for 30 years. Here in Kentucky, he knows when you see somebody with a bass boat at the gas station that they are tournament fishing. If I was in Detroit, it would be a different thing. I get it. You know I'm bass fishing, god dang it. So he asked me, what are you doing here? And so I looked back at my rods on my deck. I said, fishing a tournament. So then he steps back and he looks at my rig again, looks at the van. You work for a storyteller? What's the, you work for them or some of your sponsors? It's like, yeah, I've worked for them, yeah. And so I had just come from the Dollar General. I got my groceries at the Dollar General across the street from where I'm getting gas. And the guy goes, he walks away as he's saying this, it's a stark comment. He goes, I drove a van like this, I sure as hell wouldn't be shopping at Dollar General. It's a beautiful morning today. Good day. Try to get out here and catch some fish on Kentucky Lake. Forecast today is it's gonna be sunny for most of the day, but then it's gonna be cloudy and possibility of thunderstorms towards the end of the day. That's what the good thing about is I can check all the weather on my Omnia app. I got one place I can check everything: fishing reports, water levels, water temperature, all the different things that I would need to know about fishing. I can check in one place, the Omnia Premium Fishing app, Premium Pro. So let's talk about the fishing. Give you a little context here. The fishing really should be good, to be fair. I don't know if it's gonna be fair. Hold on a second, I'm trying to fix my lunch. Trying to fix my lunch here. The fishing should be pretty good this week. I don't know, you probably can't even see me from here, can you? Let me change the camera angles. Fishing should be good this week. Bro, if it's not good this week, when is it ever gonna be good? It's gotta be good this week. It's April, it's like the water temperature is like 70 degrees. The cherry trees are flowering, forsythia is blooming, there's this little yellow flower in the water, the birds are chirping, there's pollen, the bass have gotta be biting. You ain't gonna tell me the bass ain't biting. Let me find, I need to set this somewhere. I hope the camera doesn't fall. That would break my heart. But the bass have gotta be biting. I know that for a fact. I just gotta figure out where they are. I don't know. Here's the thing that I'm trying to figure out. It's April, water 70. On these Tennessee river lakes, you'd never know if the fish really are gonna be spawning. Now, and everywhere else that I would normally be this time of the year in the country, with the conditions that we have, no doubt I would say the bass will be spawning, but I don't know if they will be. They may be spawning, but they might not be spawning this week. My guess, there has to be, like, there's just no way there's not going to be some type of spawning activity going on with 65 to 70 degree water. April. The water's not high, but it's high enough. I mean, there's some stuff in the water that you could fish. Not a lot, which sometimes plays to your favor. But the thing that's scaring me a little bit is I know, like, these Tennessee river lakes, at times, they will wait for the water to get where they want it before they spawn. And so if it's not high enough, if it's not in the bushes, then a lot of times they may not spawn. The cool thing is, it seems like Kentucky Lake is turning into a smallmouth fishery. Now, if we were fishing largemouth, I'd say this water thing, this water level thing would be more of a factor. Let me tell you why. With largemouth use those bushes there's a lot of buck bushes here in the water. I'll show you that when I get out there. I'll show you this buck bushes, yellow flowers, all kind of things going on out there. They use that to spawn on. Well, why would they use that to spawn on? Like, what do they need that for? I think just somehow Mother Nature has wired them to know that they get the fry from when they spawn uses that buck bush to protect the fry. So, you know, you get if the bass fry doesn't have anywhere to hide, all the little brim and crappie and all the trash fish, line sides, they'll just eat the bass fry. It's almost like Mother Nature knows that and will literally wait until they about pop and before they spawn. So that does concern me. Maybe the largemouth may wait for the water to get right where they want it before they actually spawn. It's a possibility. I don't know. We'll have to find. That's what practice is for. Now, on the contrary, if, and this is a big if the smallmouth are spawning, they don't need any of that, because I think they just spawn on the main lake on like this shale or like little pea gravel washout type things. If they don't need that, then they should be biting. They should be spawning, and they should be doing the right thing. But we'll have to see. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I think that's gonna happen. I think that's the way this is gonna go down, but I honestly and truly don't know. That's what we'll find out. Come along with me. Let's figure out Kentucky Lake this week. How do you guys break down your tournaments? I know most of my people that are following, you probably tournament fish yourself. Feel free in the comment section of this video, let me know, what would you do? How would you approach it? Where would you go? Would you look for spawners? Would you look for pre-spawners? What would you do? What would you throw? It'll be after the tournament. I can't receive information during the tournament, but I can ask you for information how you would approach this after the tournament, because obviously the tournament vlog comes out when the scales are closed. Got some wind today, very windy. I think it's going 10 to 15. It's been a windy spring anyway. It's just been real windy. I don't know how to get my audio, but let's go out here and get after it and see what we can catch, all right? All right, I'm gonna start the morning. I actually brought my chair this week. That was like on purpose. So I brought my chair to sit in because I feel like this is gonna be a grinders type tournament after yesterday. Now, I didn't think that initially. The reason I believe that is because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of fish on the banks. Obviously there's got to be some, or at least some coming, and I can't really catch them offshore. I'm sure there'll be some forward faces sonar stuff going, which we'll talk about that at some point too. But there's got to be some coming towards the bank. Just gonna have to figure out how, when, you know, how you're gonna make it work. Sometimes I get tired. When I get tired, I start moving a bunch. So I decided to pull out the chair. That way I don't get tired. I'm forced to just sit there and fish. That's my thought process there. One thing I'll definitely have to do is get out here today and do a little bit of shining around to active target. You know, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of that today. Because obviously there's not a lot of fish around the bank yet, but there's no way that they're not coming. And a lot of times you can catch them. What I've learned is you can find them literally within 50 feet of the bank. Like there's almost like a pre-spawn where they don't use points. They're not necessarily using the bank. I learned that at home. Like you'd sit around, you'd wonder, why isn't there more fish on the bank? Why aren't they spawning? Why aren't they doing this or that? And they're like just right there at the cusp of it. They're literally almost like where you're fishing on top of them a lot of times. Didn't realize that until recently.
It's a cool thing about electronics. But there's also a group that does that traditional thing, and there's a group that spawns on points. On this lake, there's a group that spawns on the main lake bars, gravel bars, and hard spots out there on the main lake. There's many different groups of fish, and I think before we had electronics, remember we're going to talk about our opinion on electronics later. Maybe before we had electronics, we just missed a couple of the groups. We didn't know. It's not that what we were teaching was wrong. It's that there were other groups. There's a bite right there. I don't know where he come from. Oh, it's a turtle. No. I got a freaking turtle. I don't want to have to deal with you, turtle. Okay, he let it go. Hey, listen. I want to keep it real. Y'all call me sissy cakes or whatever you want to call me. I don't fool with turtles. They snap. They hiss. They got a little head that pokes out of the thing, out of the shell. Pretty freaking terrifying. And those turtles really aren't as slow as people say they are. People act like turtles are so slow. They're so slow. You're slow as a turtle. Well, actually, have you ever seen a turtle swim away? They swim a whole lot faster than you do, Betty. I think they're pretty fast. Can he move very fast on land? Not really, but on water, that little sucker can book it. If you don't believe me, pay attention to that next time you see some turtles. They ain't really that slow. Hey, this is a good example. Let me switch subjects. You see those bushes right there? That's where those fish want to be. But the water's not there. So I think they just set out here in the front on these flats. Or at least there is a group of fish to set out here in front of these flats. Let's test them and see. And wait for that water to get right where it wants to be. There's all kinds of little dark spots and pieces of moss and all kinds of stuff back here on the flats. I think that's where I can catch some of these fish, is looking for the bushes like that on this point and then throwing my wacky rig out in front of the bushes. That's what I'm thinking is going to work this week for me. Yeah. Oh, and here's a bass. That's a bass. We didn't think it was a bass. Did not think that was a bass, y'all. Like I threw my wacky rig out behind the bull, and I was just kind of just going with it. Like I had my trolling on max flying, and then that's okay. Now, unfortunately, he did swallow it because of what I did by not setting the hook. Oh, it's not too bad. He might bleed a little bit, but it's actually not that bad. It's just right on the other side of. Me and the boys have been crappie fishing, so my pliers are not with me. Okay. Nothing wrong with that one. What do y'all think that is? 2.5? 2.5, 3 pounds? I see. I think I got an idea. I haven't been fishing right. If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember. I wasn't paying that much. This is not good. I was not paying attention right there, but I think I casted at a little light spot that I saw. I'm not really sure. I think I casted a little spot. And, okay. Valuable data there. I think I got another one just got it. I did got another one that just got it. He just took it. Let's see, a little bit smaller one. Little mini. Little mini bass. But I saw something there that caught my eye. Something special about what just happened. I think I saw a little light spot, which probably meant I'm gonna go back to it. And I've been fishing this stuff, but I don't think I've been fishing it right. I think I've been fishing it with too much reaction baits, and like the fish aren't on reaction baits yet. I threw a top water down banks like this. I even threw a drop shot on banks like this, but the water's too shallow for like a drop shot or shaky head. It's probably only like the boat setting in 4 foot. You almost gotta think like you do like the Okeechobee or something. Sometimes those places, so like I see exactly what I cast. This is a light spot up there. I casted at it. Okay. Could go somewhere with this. Possibly.
We go fat free spawn. It's bad. If it's free spawn right there. Baby. Catching a couple. I want to run around and see how many more areas that I can find to actually have fish. I just fished a stain water area. I think you can catch fish in the stain water areas too. The problem with the stain water areas in my mind is I'm anticipating the water dropping, temperatures cooling down, and the fish changing a little bit. Some of these fish are pushed way back in these bushes. I feel like no sooner than it gets cold, no sooner than the water drops 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, that ain't gonna be working. And so what I want to try to do is, there's some fish. Oh, I know it's windy. There is some fish. Jeez, it's real windy. There's some fish in the middle of these like dead end pockets on like stumps, grass lines, dark spots, tires, anything that's in the water. But I can only see it in the clear water. If it's stained, I can't see it. It means I can't cast to it. So I think I'm actually going to stay in the cleaner water, anticipating that the water's going to drop. And then I'm going to have to change my style of fishing. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. But I'm going to keep on moving on. See if we can find some more areas.
It's like I'm catching fish the way I thought I would catch them, but then I'm not catching the way I thought I would catch them at the same time. This is sort of like what I was expecting to do. It's just not where I was expecting to do it. I was expecting to fish like these little high spots and places where basically you could almost see the bottom, or at least take your rod and touch the bottom. I was expecting to fish shallow like that, but I was thinking it would be more towards the main, more like even midways of the pocket. I don't know. And then truly honest, I hadn't really found the water. I hadn't really fished that much water either. I haven't found the water that I thought I was going to find. That's what I'm trying to say. I think it exists. I need to get on Google Earth tonight and look around. I think the water that I'm looking for does exist. I just got to find it. What I like to look for is like these little islands and high spots within a creek. Like little islands, almost like somewhere you wouldn't want to run your big engine within a creek because it's too shallow, or it's high spot, hard spots. A little bit of scattered grass around the hard spots. Those are my favorite places to fish. So I need to find that. I just don't know where I don't know where I'm gonna find it at. I think Barkley will have it. I really do. I think Barkley's gonna be the place for me. You know, like these little islands, I can't explain. I fished at Gunnersville, it was like that. You know, I fished somewhere else. Gunnersville, Missouri, at Ozarks. It was kind of later. So there's one right there. You see, he was so shallow. It's a big one. It's a big one. He was so shallow. A fish like I can see all the bottom right there. It's crazy. That's one of the better ones. That's a 3-pounder. Or what I probably need to do after I get this fishing, that's a 3-pounder, but that is a male. I can tell by the eyes. You'll never catch. I have never caught a female with the red golden looking eyes like that. That's a 2 3/4, 3-pound largemouth. That's a good fish. That's the quality I gotta have. But the thing is, I gotta be able to catch it 2 days in a row. I think we're getting somewhere though. If I can just kind of figure out, like the last 2 bites come on cypress trees. That's didn't expect that. And both of the last 2 bites come on cypress trees. I mean, like these cypress trees, I can't even get my boat to them. Like so shallow. Yeah, it just blows my mind. Like I literally fished right over these fish. I had no idea they were back this far. But it makes sense because one thing is I've always said, you see it at home, but where I fish at home, it sets up differently. The first thing fish go when they, first place they go when they come up to spawn is to the very back. We do fantasize a lot about them kind of setting up on secondaries and doing all this. A lot of times fish spawn on points and stuff. But there's also a group of fish that when they first come up, they go straight to the back of the pocket first. Man, because that's where all the warm water is. The warmest water is in the very back of the pockets. They don't do all of that staging on main lake and staging on secondaries. Well, let me say this, not all of them do. There's a group of fish that doesn't do that. There's a group of fish that just come straight on up in the back and get busy with it. That's what I'm about to go look for, because this is pretty, at this point, it doesn't make much sense to keep catching a whole bunch of fish. So what I'm gonna do is I found an area, I found a pattern, a thing, and now I'm gonna look for other places to do the thing that I found out. I do want to see if I can figure out how to catch at least some smallmouth. So I am going to go out here on the main lake, and I'm actually going to fish some of the docks that are on the main lake, or the closest ones to the main lake, whether that be a main lake pocket or on the main lake itself, and see if that's where some of these smallmouth are spawning. I don't suspect they've already spawned. I don't think the smallmouth have already spawned. Maybe they have, but I don't think they have. And so if I can figure out how to have that as a backup plan, just in case the water drops, it gets too cold, I don't know, a tsunami happens, it rains, whatever, because I am fishing at the very extreme back. If it rains, that's going to be a problem. If it gets cold, that could be a problem. If they drop the water, that could be a problem. And so if I could just use the rest of the practice just to find something different, just anything that I could just run to real quick to get a bite or two, that would be ideal. Right now we're going to try something that's different but the same. I'm out here on the main drag. It's on the main Kentucky Lake. There's a stretch of docks down through here, and we know that all the fish are thinking about SIGs right now. You know that's a fact. Now I wonder if these smallmouth will use like these dock pylons to spawn on. I don't know where they're spawning at right now. They got me a little puzzled. I'm not sure how that's working. I know they gotta be spawning. I know they gotta be doing something. Hey, I know they're gonna play in this tournament. I just hadn't really figured out how to catch them and where they are. I know they do get out there on those bars, those main lake bars and stuff like that. People talk about that all the time. I play with that a little bit, but the water's come up quite a bit since guys are catching them out there, and I really feel like it's just not setting up for that right now. I feel like it's just a little bit too deep out there. And most of those bars that were 2 and 3 foot deep, now they're 8 to 10 foot deep. I feel like that's not ideal for anything that's spawning. Could they? Just with the water clarity, if the water was a lot clearer, I would feel like that would work, but the water clarity we have right now, I don't think it doesn't make a whole bunch of sense. Now I know that somebody's probably gonna catch them out there, but from I can tell right now, should be at least a new wave that's using some of the shallower stuff. Shouldn't be that hard. We're about to see. That's Mike, by the way. Whoa, split. It's tight. You know what I Without. Yep. Right, you see it. Oh, rats. We did a smallmouth. There's a smallmouth. There's a smallmouth. See? Exactly what we came looking for. A little smallmouth. That ain't a big one. But it is a smallmouth nonetheless. First one I caught all week. I don't know, it might be 3 pounds. Hey, he's 3 pounds. I might have to go down and get him. 3 pounds smaller. But right where I thought he's supposed to be. Oh yeah, that's a 3 pound. That's a 3 pound smallmouth. Yeah. Come here. That's a 3 pound smallmouth. That's a 3 pound smallmouth. What you think about that? Smallmouth always look smaller than they really are. I was hoping I could catch them things out here.
Yep. I think these smallmouth gonna spawn. Turn back. I think they're gonna spawn on the main lake like this. And if you can find these like a stretch of docks, I think it just makes it easier to target. I know that most of them probably get out on the main lake and on the bars and stuff, but there's so many bars. If you look at the map, there's so many bars to fish. I mean, it would just take you forever. Furthermore, like, I don't think it has to be that difficult. I'm sure that'll work. Obviously it does work, but I don't think it has to be that difficult. I think there's gotta be an easy way to catch these fish, and that's what I'm gonna look for. Easy, easy, easy. Everybody wants to get better at fishing. One of the things that you always hear about getting better at fishing is spending more time on the water. What if I told you you really don't have to spend more time on the water to get better? Because I know what you're dealing with. You go to work Monday through Friday, you work 8 to 5. From 5 to dark, you take your kids to practice, soccer, baseball, whatever the case may be, football, whatever it is for you. Then you figure out what you're gonna eat for dinner. You get everybody bathing in bed, and you start that process over again for the next day. You don't have any more time. Your capacity is stretched when it comes to being on the water. But what if I told you, you really don't have to spend more time on the water to win your club tournament, to take your friends fishing and just have a good time, just to go out there and feel confident when you launch your boat or you take your hike to the river. It doesn't take more time, it takes more deliberate time and more deliberate practice. When you pull up to the water, you want to know exactly what to look for. You want to know exactly what gear to use. When you figure out those two things, you're on your way to having more fun and catching more fish. Listen, I have an online course that will teach you everything you need to know, where to go, what to look for. You'll be more confident when you're out there on the water. If you're interested in my school, look at the description box in this video. I'll leave a link to it. I have a 3-part seminar. Can't talk today. I'm so excited I can't talk. I have a 3-part series that'll teach you everything you need to know to catch more fish without spending more time on the water. It's all about being more intentional so you can catch more fish. I'm not sight fishing, but being able to see grass under the water, see stumps, see a fish, you know, if I happen to see a fish, good. Not really seeing a fish, but there's a lot of things that I feel like anglers are going to overlook, and that's what I got to try to capitalize on with the big fish like this. A little dark spot, a little bit of grass underwater, a stump, a log that you can't visually see unless you see underwater. Glasses are going to be a big deal is what I'm trying to get at. And so I've got 2 color lenses that I'm going to be using tomorrow. One is a bronze lens, a gold lens, is which I'm going to wear predominantly. It brightens everything up. The way I understand it is you want to wear the color lens that the water is. Y'all do what you want to with it. If you know more, let everybody know what you should wear in the comment section. Got a couple glasses here. I wear Wiley X Captivate. I'm not sure, I think this is called Venice Gold, this color that I wear. This is the ones that I like the most this week, the Venice Gold.
Not exactly the prettiest glasses with the, it's pretty old school looking, but that side that blocks the sun really well. That's why I'm using those. Now my buddy Cam, y'all remember Cam, right? Cam did a lot of my filming for me a couple years ago. I hadn't had Cam on a shoot this year yet, but Cam left these Smiths in here. Boy, they look crazy. Look at this. Now I gotta be honest with you, I hate the way these glasses look. Like, they look crazy, but boy, they feel good and you can see in them really good. So let me know what y'all think. There's something about white sunglasses. These things, they just make you look like a freaking nationalist. I mean, they make you look crazy. I don't know, I can't do white sunglasses. Nothing makes you look older and dumber than a pair of white frame sunglasses. I just cannot stand them. I refuse to wear white sunglasses. I'm gonna be honest with you. When there ain't nobody looking, I'll put these suckers on in a heartbeat. They feel the best. Hey, Smiths, whoever Smiths are, I think that's what these are, Smith. If you're watching this video, hook your boy up with a pair of these nationalist glasses. That's what I'm gonna call them, the nationalists. I'm gonna see what my boys think of these. They look pretty crazy if you ask me. But if they had like a black frame, something else, I don't know, it just, this ain't it right here. It's got that, I don't know. We're gonna call these the Candace Owens specials. Let's go see what my boys think. Let's see what the fellas think about my choice of glasses for tomorrow. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give these glasses probably about a, I'm gonna go with maybe about a, just on looks alone now, 4.6. Now I'm gonna have to give 4.3. The white frames, just, I can't do the white frames. Let's see what my boys think about them. Flint, I gotta ask you a question. Hold on. Let me get my camera right.
What's the question?
1 to 10, where are my glasses?
On your head?
Yeah. How you like them?
They look good.
1 to 10.
You like a baseball coach?
You lying.
No, not for real.
Bro. Flint.
You look good, bro.
Like a baseball coach.
I look better, but you look good.
Let's see what you look like in them.
Oh,
They actually feel great.
I look good in these, bro.
They feel great. Dude, look.
I'm a big time Costa guy.
Look. A big time coach. Look. Would you wear those? No. I would not wear those. It's the white frames for me. They feel great though.
They do feel good.
They really, I mean, like, they really, like, these glasses feel good. They feel good. What would you rate them, 1 to 10?
On feeling good?
Oh, just the glasses in general. Just looks. We're just going on looks.
7.5.
You 7.5?
Yeah. What did you rate it?
4.
Daggone, dude.
These glasses are terrible looking, bro. These are Cam's glasses.
How Ann would wear them?
Yeah, but these are terrible.
Those are Cam's?
Yeah, they don't have very good taste. He's doing the best he can. Where's Christian sleep?
I ain't on the phone with, what's her name?
We have to get Christian's rating later. They're pretty bad. I'll wear them by myself. I will not be seen in public in these.
Bro, you might win if you win this tournament if you wear them.
I could win 3 tournaments in a row and still wouldn't wear these glasses. I mean, I'd wear them to win, but I would not wear them after I won. That's for darn sure. These things, like cat booty. Got our work cut out for us this week. At Kentucky Lake, usually the weights are pretty high. This is a good lake. Several times in the past, several tournaments here in the past, you know, the weights, they oftentimes eclipse the century mark. I mean, 100 pounds over 4 days. Our tournaments are 3 days now, so you know, I'm not sure where that's going to land us. Is that likely to happen this time of the year when we're here in April? For some reason, I feel like the Tennessee River lakes are May and June lakes, and the weights are actually a little bit lower in the spring than they are in the summer. I think it's just the summertime just puts them more susceptible to being caught in like these little locations where everybody can catch them. I feel like
the fish will probably be more spread out through the whole lake. This place is huge. I want to say it's over 100,000 acres, something like that. It's a lot. It's a big place. So with them being spread out, I feel like it's going to be more onesie twosie type thing, as opposed to a guy sitting on a hole and just catching as many as he can. Hey, you remember the last time I fished here was the infamous Randy Haynes and Jason Lambert fallout. And what creek is that? Jonathan Creek, where they got what Randy Haynes just said, I had enough of it. I'm going home. I'm going to work. That was the last time I was here. Just caught that thing. I got back in here, dude. This is cool. Fishing so shallow. That's a nice one right there. I think we got a little bit of something going here. Some other tools I wish I had that I kind of don't have. I just didn't expect it to be working this week. The fish is so shallow that you got to really like rethink about the baits you use, how you cast, where you position the boat, because they're so shallow that you got to be super stealthy. And like, I saw that fish come up and get it. I mean, I'm talking about like this much water that fish was in. It's really cool. One reason I wasn't catching fish on the first day is I was actually fishing too deep. That's very unusual to have that.
Let's see. You see, I got these couple cypress trees right here. Like, I see the bottom on these cypress trees. Let's see if there's a fish on them. If there's a fish on those cypress trees, then we're good. Like, I don't know how they're setting that shallow. I do know how they're setting that shallow. But if there is one up there, then we got something. Basically, that's just telling you, just get your boat. I mean, I don't know that I'm getting as shallow as the fish are. Just dummy shallow. Sometimes you'll see like a little black spot out in the middle. Just sitting on that kind of stuff. Shade of these trees like this. I mean, that water right there is literally like ankle deep. It's nothing. I've been skipping this. Usually when I get to this kind of water, I turn around. That's definitely been a mistake. I get it now. I didn't understand what I understand now. So I got a little bit heavier stick bait that I'll cast. Like, some of these dark spots are out there, like way out there. I just want to see. I can't get the other bait out that far. I need to reach out and cast. Like, if I feel like I can't get my boat over there, I'll cast this one around. See? So just a stump out in the middle. Stump out in the middle. Alright, so I think we got, I don't think there's really much need in catching more fish. At this point, I think I'm gonna spend my time just searching around. This is pretty obvious. I mean, that was one of those places. It's just a dark, I don't even know if it's a stump. I can't even tell what it is. Something in the water in the middle of this pocket. Cast it up there. Dude, he took right on off with it.
Jeez. I caught that one out here in the middle on what looks like nothing. These are the kind of little things that I'm looking for. That's the biggest one I caught this week. That fish is pushing 5 pounds. Big old. I'll throw this one back. Talk a little bit about how I caught that one. That's the information that I'm looking for right there. So right now, I'm doing something very special that you probably never heard of before, never seen anybody fish, never watched a YouTube video, tournament vlog, or anything. Doing this technique right here. I'm throwing very special wacky rig stick bait. But all right, so the
cool thing about what I'm doing with the stick bait is there's a lot of bushes here. I'll pick up the camera. There's a lot of bushes back here, and there's some flooded, what we call I'm calling yellow flower, and it's out here in the middle in these depressions and things out here in the middle, and you can kind of fan cast around in this yellow flower. I like to say it like that because I'm sure that's the way people from Kentucky say it, the yellow flower. Sure, you can fan cast in this yellow flower and catch you a couple of 3. It's kind of random. You don't catch many, but some of my biggest ones will come out here in the middle in the yellow flower. It's yellow flower. I think it's Coreopsis. If you don't know, I have a horticulture degree. I think that's Coreopsis. I'm not really sure. I feel like it grows up when the water's down, water comes up, floods, of course, fish get in it, shad probably gets in it, ram gets in it, all the different things. I feel like that's what it is Coreopsis. But for fishing, we're gonna call it yellow flower. Yellow flower, because that's what it looks like, a yellow flower. That was not a keeper. I'm starting to catch some here. I literally was not catching any fish at all. And within the last hour, probably caught a dozen. I see exactly what's going on. I think I know exactly what to do. These fish on the Tennessee River, what I think they do, basically I'm fishing where the fish would want to be if the water was high, which obviously they would be in these bushes and all this stuff around me. The water hasn't got to where they want it yet, and they're just sitting here waiting. It's not like I haven't fished areas like this yet, but I haven't fished areas like this the way that I want to fish them. They would normally be on these cypress trees. They would be on the buckbrush, in 3 or 4 foot of water, but the water's low, so what they're doing, I think they're just sitting in front of these areas, waiting on the water to come up. And they're so shallow right now that the only way that you can get a bite is to throw something really light at them. They're sitting right where you think they are. And it's like they're just so shallow. You would also think you could see the fish, but I can't see them. Like you can't see them. All these fish I've come, like I can see my bait sink down, and then as soon as it goes out of sight, usually one has it. I don't know where they come from. I don't know what the deal is. But I think I see pretty clearly like this, unless it's just going on in this one particular area, which happens sometimes. We don't want that. I'm hoping I can go to another creek. I'm thinking about places I fished yesterday, and I'm going to refish those and see if this holds true there. If that holds true there, I think we got something. We basically got a tournament pattern established. We'll see. The Tennessee River springtime it can be a little tricky. You have to make sure you're paying attention to everything that's going on the Tennessee River, because they really depend on water levels a lot. That's something that I'm not really that familiar with, because water levels don't really matter where I live. They pretty much stay the same all year. Anytime they move the water, it's always a dramatic, long time in the Carolinas when they move water. It's never really they don't move the water real fast. They move it. It'll drop a foot or two over months, not days, not overnight. So I know these fish are real sensitive to water movement here, because they do move it a lot. Has a bite. That's probably a small one. And then that's a lot of buck bass up shallow, which is kind of funny because my buddies and I, the very thing that we've been saying is, man, they should be all over the banks. They should be all over the banks. They should be all over the banks. And couldn't really figure out why we weren't seeing any, weren't catching any, but we really weren't targeting the right areas. And more importantly, not targeting the right areas with the right bait. It made a huge difference once I got a little bit lazy with the baits. Like there's a little pond back here that I didn't know about. Back crazy. It's what happened, Steamer. And they're small fish, they're bucks. All largemouth. Stump out here in the middle.
Can't believe it's starting to rain a little bit. I gotta retie. Today's kind of coming to a close. We got some pretty good information. Only thing that worries me is size. Size is not, I haven't caught any big ones today. 3-pounders even seem hard to catch. I think it's just buck bass that are moving up to spawn. And you know, maybe it'll be some bigger ones coming the next couple days or so. We still got a long time until the tournament. You know, we got one more day of practice tomorrow, plus the off day. So I got like 3 days for things to settle in, change, or do whatever they want to do. I don't think it's going to get worse though, man. I mean, it's April. Come on, let's go. Let's get some bite. Let's do this, fish. Let's not do nothing crazy. Let's bite, you know. I do think electronics will be a forward-facing sonar deal is probably gonna play pretty good. Look, I go out there, when I go out and look at stuff on forward-facing this week, man, there's just so many trash fish and so many different species of fish you see out there that are not bass, not the actual fish that you're fishing for. So let me set you guys up a little higher. So I decided, I just got fed up with it. You just go out there and it's just so many fish and none of them are bass. So I decided to, for one, I started cranking on the main lake. I was like, let me catch smallmouth, because I know smallmouth are playing at Kentucky Lake like they never have before. It's just, it seems like every time a tournament's here, like a BFL or Toyota Series, the smallmouth are playing and they're big here. If I'm not mistaken, there was a college event here just a couple days ago, and I think it was like 15 plus pounds or 27 plus pounds, mid-20s of all smallmouth. It's pretty incredible. To be fair, this has probably been one of the most fun practices that I had in a while. I think the tournament is going to be good. A lot of times we go in these events and you're not really sure how it's going to play out, but the way the Kentucky Lake is fishing right now, there's too many ways to catch fish, and the lake is too big for it not to be a good tournament. There are going to be a lot of guys fishing for smallmouth on the main lake. There'll be guys flipping bushes. There'll be guys fishing ledges. I feel like largemouth and smallmouth might play, but obviously, given my practice, I'm planning on fishing for pretty much largemouth the whole time.